Asian Family Support Services of Austin hosted their 7th annual Silkroad Gala at the Hilton Austin in Texas. The gala celebrated 23 years of giving hope to survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking. Since 1992, Asian Family Support Services of Austin has been providing assistance to Asian and other immigrant families dealing with domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking. Their services help women and their children overcome abuse by empowering them to make decisions for their own lives. The 7th annual gala celebrated AFSA's 23 years of providing hope to families. Over 250 philanthropic community and business leaders came together to celebrate the strength and resilience of survivors and honor Lotus Award recipients for their work in promoting a safer and healthier Central Texas. This year's gala honored Marshall Thompson and Carlos Salinas with the Lotus Award for their support and contribution. There was a silent auction and a lot of entertainment with dance performances.
So how do you pull the time out of your everyday life to give so much for AFFS?
Well, Carlos and I were both lawyers in the nonprofit world before we left and went to private practice. I think when we left, there was an understanding between everyone in our firm that public interest and giving back and pro bono was going to be an important part of what we do. So I think that we've all made it a priority. Just doing it through Asian Family Support Service of Austin has been just the easiest and most effective way to do that. I mean, we work with some other organizations like VLS and some other things, but Asian Families has by far been the most, effective and exciting opportunity for pro bono.
So, Carlos, what has been your experience? What just stood out for you while you are giving your time for these women?
Easily the most interesting thing that I've been able to observe is how effective the advocates are in AFSA. The advocates in this organization are incredible, and I think of one in particular who I feel like single-handedly effectuated the return of a child who had been abducted to another country, and we're going to see about that tonight, and we'll be seeing a video on that. But those feats are only attainable, I think, by really committed advocates, which this organization is filled with.
This event here tonight is called the Silkroad Gala. It's been, I think, the 6th or 7th year we've been doing this event. It's a chance for two things. One, to raise awareness and raise funds in our community to support the work that we do. Also, it's a good way to give thanks to many leaders in our community for the work that they do to support us. We'll be honoring some lawyers tonight for the work that they've done, other community partners. And it's a good chance to see that the problems that we try to help solve in our community can only be solved if we have the help from community members too. So it's a great night to celebrate and also to recognize how much more work there needs to be done.
It's been a wonderful year for us. Basically what has happened is we have exponentially grown our services. We have served more women and children in the last year than we have in the years prior. We have actually provided services to over 230 families. Not only that, we have done outreach, done a lot of good education around healthy relationships, making sure that families are safe, families know where resources are so that they can access them, and we've reached over 4,000 people in the past year. But most importantly, and I think one of the biggest accomplishments for us, is that we've actually have been able to build a transitional housing program. So in the first quarter of 2016, and the last year in 2015, we've been building to this point. And so in the first quarter of 2016, we'll be housing our first 6 families in transitional housing.
More stories coming up after this break. Stay tuned. We're back with Community Roundup. Agni Entertainment, who brought Austin the Om Shanti musical and Bollywood Day, are back again, but this time Agni Entertainment marries science and art in its latest production, Strings of Time. Let's head out to the Long Center for the Performing Arts Rolling Studios in Austin, Texas, and take a look at the beautiful production by Agni Entertainment.
Prakash Mohandas and his Agni team amazed Austin with their last production, Om Shanti, in August 2013. While that was a 120-member performance, delighting with an authentic Indian culture experience, today we are here to witness the marriage of physics, fantasy and fun in Agni Entertainment's latest production, Strings of Time. So let's get transported as various forms of dance and music merge to create a beautiful symphony of the universe.
The most creative things happen when you bring art and science together. That is what this show is all about. Art and science coming together in a very intelligent way. Now, people who know a lot of science, this show is going to blow their mind. And people who do not know a lot of science, it would make them want to know more science. That is what is so cool about this show.
I've had a very exciting experience in this show. It's been eye-opening. I've never done a show that blends physics, one of the hard sciences, and one of the pure art forms. I typically dance Bharatanatyam, which is an age-old Indian classical dance form, so it was quite a challenge blending that into modern-day physics.
I represent the electromagnetic force, which is represented by a dance form called Kathak. It's a classical Indian dance form which has a lot of footwork and a lot of pirouettes, which is why we decided to explore that for the whole electromagnetic force angle of things. I think Strings of Time has been an amazing journey, mostly because we do physics in school and then we forget about it. And then now this was very unique where we get to go and mix that up and try to bring a spiritual and a creative angle and, you know, just fuse art and science together.
Strings of Time is a concept that came about because of an interest I have towards physics and dance. So it's always been a kind of a long-term interest of mine to bring them together. And the other aspect of it is because the music has strings-based music the entire production. So the idea was a play on words, because it means that you're combining strings music. At the same time, you're involving concepts of physics from string theory and some other aspects. So that's how the production came about. Some of the biggest challenges we had in the production was to make sure that we're conveying a story. Even though we have scientific concepts and physical concepts to convey, we wanted to make sure that the audience gets a story at the end of the day. So it was more about making sure that we're giving them something digestible, but in the background there's concepts that they kind of get.
Very difficult to translate abstract concepts, especially abstract mathematical concepts, into dance. And so it was a bit of a challenge, but it was also a lot of fun trying to come up with creative ways to represent an electron, say, in a dance movement.
To come up with this particular Kathak. The idea behind is all the spinning part. It's all the chakkars, the chakkars that create all the vibrance, and the force that we wanted to show between the characters. Like for example, Neha switching from character, a good character to a bad character, and trying to get the female part of it to woo her, and then all that drama behind it. But the main part is to show the vibrance, the emotions behind it.
Shiv Mandir of Atlanta held a grand celebration of